So, good afternoon everyone. Here is the continuation, the page 143, rather 145, and 146 of 226. Article 284 states the prohibition against aliens exceptions. All aliens, natural or juridical, as well as foreign organizations, are strictly prohibited from engaging directly or indirectly in all forms of trade union activities without prejudice to normal contacts between Philippine labor unions and recognized international labor centers, provided, however, that aliens working in the country with valid permits issued by the Department of Labor and Employment may exercise the right to self-organization and join or assist labor organizations of their own choosing for purposes of collective bargaining, provided further that said aliens are nationals of a country which grants the same or similar rights to Filipino workers. Article 285 states the regulation of foreign assistance. Letter A, no foreign individual, organization or entity may give any donations, grants, or other forms of assistance in cash or in kind, directly or indirectly, to any labor organization, group of workers, or any auxiliary thereof, such as cooperatives, credit unions, and institutions engaged in research, education, or communication in relation to trade union activities without prior permission by the Secretary of Labor. Trade union activities shall mean, number 1, organization, formation, and administration of labor organizations. Number 2, negotiation and administration of collective bargaining agreements. Number 3, all forms of concerted union action. Number 4, organizing, managing, or assisting union conventions, meetings, rallies, referenda, teachings, seminars, conferences, and institutes. Number 5, any form of participation or involvement in representation proceedings, representation elections, consent elections, union elections. And number 6, other activities or actions analogous to the foregoing. Letter B, the prohibition shall equally apply to foreign donations, grants, or other forms of assistance in cash or in kind, given directly or indirectly to any employer's organization to support any activity or activities affecting trade unions. Letter C, the Secretary of Labor shall promulgate rules and regulations to regulate and control the giving and receiving of such donations, grants, or other forms of assistance, including the mandatory reporting of the amounts of the donations or grants, the specific recipients thereof, the projects or activities proposed to be supported, and their duration. Article 286, it states the applicability to farm, tenants, and rural workers. The provisions of this title pertaining to foreign organizations and activities shall be deemed applicable likewise to all organizations of farm tenants, rural workers, and the like, provided that in appropriate cases, the Secretary of Agrarian Reform shall exercise the powers and responsibilities vested by this title in the Secretary of Labor. This employment permit. Article 284 shall be read in relation to Article 40 in connection with the requirement of employment permit for aliens seeking admission to the Philippines for employment purposes, which is this says under Title 2, Book 1. Number 2 is the foreign activities and assistance. The restrictions imposed on foreign activities relative to trade union activities stem from the need, in view of the public interest involved and the national security implications, to protect labor-related groups from foreign and possibly subversive influence. At the same time, these local organizations cannot be completely cut off from dealings and contacts with similar organizations abroad, which is why the prohibitions under Articles 284, 285, and 286 are not absolute. Article 287, Penalties. Letter A. Any person violating any of the provisions of Article 270 of this code shall be punished by a fine of not less than 1,000 pesos nor more than 10,000 pesos, and or imprisonment for not less than 3 months nor more than 3 years, or such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. Prosecution under this provision shall preclude prosecution for the same act under the revised penal code and vice versa. Letter B. Upon the recommendation of the Minister of Labor, Employment, and the Minister of National Defense, foreigners who violate the provision of this title shall be subject to immediate and summary deportation by the Commission on Immigration and Deportation, and shall be permanently barred from re-entering the country without the special permission of the President of the Philippines. Number 1 is penalties. Provided in Article 287 for violation of Article 279, prohibited activities in connection with strike, lockout, and picketing are the same as those provided in Article 303 for violation of any provision of the Labor Code. However, under Article 287b, in case of violation by an alien of any power of any of the provisions of Title 8 of Book 5, he shall, upon the recommendation of the Secretaries of Labor and Employment and Defense, be subject to immediate and summary deportation and shall be permanently barred from re-entering the country without a special permission of the President. While under Article 303, convicted alien shall be deported only upon completion of service or sentence. So far as violations of Article 279 or any provisions or of the whole title on strikes and lockouts are concerned, an alien found guilty thereof is subject to immediate deportation under Article 287, which is the specific law thereon. In case of violations of the code other than those earlier mentioned, Article 303, which is general in charter, applies, and so the alien convicted of such violation is subject to deportation after service of the sentence.